So, Dominic, back in 2013, you wrote The Case for Small Government in a book called Life After the State.
I did, yes.
What are your thoughts on how things have changed since then? And after this year's attempt, shall we say, by Liz Truss to push back a little bit on the encroachment of the state, how do you think things are going?
Well, things are going very badly indeed, and we're in a much worse position than we were in 2013, and we weren't in a good position then. And, you know, I'm just looking at the world around me, or not even the world around me, you know, the England around me, but you could expand this and make it the entire, you know, Western Europe or even North America as well. But if you look at you know, what the last few weeks have brought us. We have out of control inflation, so whatever the Bank of England's doing isn't working. We have an unelected leader, and we have a Conservative Party that's just totally fallen apart, and you could really say a parliament that's not functioning because nothing's changing. We have, you know, the trains on strike. We have the NHS that's not giving basic services to its customers. We got the Royal Mail on strike. We have an education system that is more of an indoctrination system than it is an education system. It's become about, you know, ideology takes precedent over truth or fact. And, you know, I can go on. These are all things we know. But if you look at every single one of those things that I just mentioned, they are all things that are either state or government run, or were at some point state or government run, to the point at which now they've still got that state mentality. I'm thinking of the Royal Mail when I say that. I know it's a private company, and you know, when I grew up, I'm 53. When I grew up in the 70s, you know, it's partly being a kid. Oh, the one I didn't mention was the police, the state of the police, and you know, we pay 50% tax, and one of the basic requirements of government is to defend our borders. And, you know, we've got I gather that migration last year was 1 million people. 1 million people. I know 500,000 left, but 1 million people. That means that 1 in every 65 people that you meet only came to this country last year.
When we were locked down.
Well, no, it was the year after the lockdown. And to be fair to that number, one of the reasons that migration was so high is because of the increased movement of people after the lockdown. But even so, it's just enormous. And so it's hard to find a government body that is actually working. And yet, I'm not sure even one exists. Maybe the army. The one that made me laugh this week was how the airports are all suddenly functioning well now. Border Force have gone on strike. So, you know, you look at that, and then the standard argument is, oh, well, they're all rubbish because we're not spending enough money. And I would just go, no, they're rubbish because when the state runs something and profit isn't the main motive, it inevitably becomes rubbish because all the incentives are all wrong. And you know, profit has become this evil word, and it's totally misunderstood and smeared and all the rest of it. But, you know, it was not this bad in 2012, 2013 when I wrote Life After the State. It's just got worse. And it's not, you know, I'm a hard money bug, and we pray that, you know, one of the things that people believe in sound money goes that they will just destroy the currency. And once the currency is destroyed, you have to go back to gold. And then inevitably, once you use gold or Bitcoin or whatever it is, some form of money that government can't print, then the rules are the same for government as they are for everything else, and their belt is tightened. And so we'll go back to something better. But, you know, they've been printing money since 1914, and it just sort of gets incrementally worse. It never implodes. It just sort of gets incremental. It's like a huge boiling frog thing. But anyway, so the answer to your first question is no, they haven't got better.